I'm Brandon Druyard. I'm with DCC Builders, and today Rich Fenlock came by from Custom Window Systems in Ocala, and he talked about the impact windows, the Storm Strong series, and the Aria dual pane windows, and also our vinyl sliding doors. So take a look. So, what's up, Rich?
Good morning, Brandon. Thanks for letting me be here.
Cool.
I'm very excited to have the opportunity to talk to you a little bit about, I work for the greatest company in the world in Custom Window Systems of Ocala, Florida. We are a Florida manufactured product, so we're made in Florida by Floridians and specifically for the Florida coastal environment. We're very fortunate to be able to bring a product line through high quality distributors like yourself that is basically answers all the needs that any homeowner could possibly be looking for. We cover aspects from safety and security of the home to environmental, to changing the environment, energy savings. We're Energy Star rated product. And of course, there's the storm protection. It doesn't even necessarily have to be something with a name. It could just be the 4 o'clock in the afternoon thunderstorms. We are focused on this environment because it's so unique. The coastal environment goes anywhere like today, where we're basically a coastal rainforest with the heat and humidity, to January where we're desert dry. The product is specifically designed to keep out ultraviolet rays, keep the heat and humidity to the outside of the house so that your air conditioner doesn't have to function as hard. It does a great job on a monthly basis of saving some money, but it generally changes the feel of your home, the environment on the interior of the home. It does a very aesthetic, it's a very aesthetic product in that it changes the look from the outside, the street value, the curb appeal is very, very strong. We also are a product that is very difficult for someone to enter your home through it. While it's not smash proof, it's pretty close. They'll have to work to genuinely get through any of the products chosen on the impact side because it's a laminated product. So it's 3 pieces of glass laminated, 2 laminated together to create an insulated glass unit. And lastly, and probably most importantly this time of year, is the storm protection component of it. The tropics are always very active, as we just saw, and they're very unpredictable, as we saw in the past here in our area, where we've had years where 4 storms have probably basically crossed right over top of where we're sitting right now. Mm-hmm. So the product is infinitely adaptable. It can go anywhere from a modular mobile home up to 15 stories high on South Beach. And we're very, very happy to have great folks to work with like you. We're selective in our approach with our team, and we feel like we want to partner. We just don't want to supply windows.
Amen. One thing, when you were talking about the laminated glass, what exactly is that's between the 2 panes that makes it so strong?
It's actually a Kevlar type material that is heat laminated to the glass so that it's clear, but it adheres to the glass similar to a car windshield. Okay. And it adheres to the glass, the 2 pieces of glass holding them together, and it greatly increases the ability of the window to be strong.
Right. I remember touring the factory, and they took us in their little laboratory where they test the windows. I guess they just go out on the floor and they grab one randomly and they bring it in, and they put it up on this wall that's like a big duct or something. It's got a fan or a tube on it, and then they shot a 2x4 at it. Like, I don't even know how fast was that 2x4 going.
127 miles an hour.
Okay, just the butt of it just boom hit the glass, and of course it broke. It shattered, but it was still intact. And then I guess they do like a negative and a positive pressure repeatedly, like 1,000 times or hundreds of times?
Hundreds of times each way, in and out.
Okay.
And then the product still has to be able to function. You still have to be able to open the window. And one of the cool things about what we do is that we put the piece of glass that will break to the exterior of the house. That's important because think about the house that you live in. You probably have a window over or near a bed, over near a couch, over near a child's bed. If that sacrificial layer is to the inside, you're going to have pieces of glass come to the inside and come to the interior and spread over that area. Ours, it falls to the outside.
Right. So I took a stab at hitting one of those windows with a sledgehammer, and it was already cracked. And I thought, man, I grabbed that sledgehammer and I said, I'm going to hit that thing with all I got. I'm going to show them that I can break through this window. And I went up there and hit that thing as hard as I could, and it just bounced off. That Kevlar material, now I'm kind of getting into the security aspect of it. Would it tear? Could somebody shoot through it? Would it tear open, or does it just would it just make a hole and that would be the end of it?
It'll make a hole eventually. But you can actually go online and see where law enforcement has attempted to use a battering ram to get through it and were unsuccessful and had to put primer cord on the frame of the door, blow the frame up to get through the door. It's very, very strong. Not unbreakable, but
sure,
they better bring a lunch because they're going to be there all
right. Hopefully they just move on down the road, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's great. Impact windows, that was one of the features for me that was finally a deciding factor when we put new windows in our home. And we did put the Storm Strong windows in our home. Double hung is what we used. And we just recently did the install, and we love them. They're great. They're white. All of our neighbors have been commenting on them, how great they look. And not only do we feel safe now during a hurricane, but also the security factor. So we don't have to worry about somebody coming and breaking the window and coming in our house and ransacking our stuff. So, not that was a big concern before, but now we definitely don't have to worry about it.
No doubt. And in those, I mean, that's kind of the extreme example of a break-in, but think of it on an everyday basis. Our area, all areas have changed. They're growing and expanding. There's construction, houses are being built, and all the road traffic has picked up. The road that I live on was a quiet little 2-lane road. Now it's not. That laminated glass layer that we're talking about deadens sound, so that where you used to be able to hear road traffic, construction traffic, motorcycles, boom, bass.
Right.
Now having an impact window will really quiet your home and make it much more of a comfortable environment.
That's another thing I noticed. We have a pool pump right outside of our bedroom window, probably not the best location for it. And on a Saturday morning, if I sleep in, I hear that thing kick on in the morning, and I'm like, okay, it's time to get up. But now I don't even notice it come on. So I think that's a big thing. Another thing that I noticed, just since we've changed our windows, is we used to get up in the morning because we turn the AC real low at night when we're sleeping, maybe 74, 75 degrees, and get up in the morning and all the windows were just drenched with condensation just running down on our window sills on the inside. And now when we get up and we look out the window, it's just clear, unless it was raining outside, then there might be some water drops on the outside, but on the inside, no condensation whatsoever.
Yeah, a lot of homes are constructed with an aluminum frame, single glazed piece of glass, just one piece of glass in it, and that does create a condensation point between the warmth and humidity of the outside and the cool dry on the inside. That's just 8th grade science. You can't avoid it.
So these dual pane windows, do they have any type of insulating factor between the panes?
We do. We use argon glass. We feel as though that gives us the best insulating factor. There are other gases that people use, and then there are some that have nothing between there but room air. We feel as though having argon gas is by far gives us the best product.
Okay. Can you tell me exactly why argon gas is better? Does it have a higher R value than just regular air, or what does it do exactly?
It is a higher R value than regular air, but what it does is it ensures that I'm not sure what the proper term is, but it makes sure that you have a pure, non-contaminated environment between those pieces of glass.
I'm glad you said non-contaminated, because that was another thing that really stuck out to me when I was touring the factory. Back to the impact glass and the lamination. They had clean rooms that we were able to look through the glass and see people with white suits walking around and masks. And I'm not sure if they were wearing respirators, but they definitely had some sort of face shield on. And it was just a completely sterile environment that they're doing this in. And they take those big sheets of glass and then they put the Kevlar inner layer, and then they put the other sheet of glass on top, and everything has to be perfect. You can't have a speck of dirt or anything in there, dust. And then they roll that in the oven, it comes out the other side, and I guess they cut it up and use it for the windows. So that was pretty neat for me.
It's a great process to watch. It's really amazing the amount of engineering and really physics that are involved in chemistry that are involved in the creation of the product.
Is there a difference with the impact window frames than, say, a standard Aria?
No, the frames are basically the same except for some additional aluminum support material. We do some reinforcement in order to enhance the design pressure. That's the test that measures the air and water infiltration. It's the basis for the coastal building code, and it's an important question to ask a window manufacturer or distributor is what is going to be the design pressure, because basically that tells you what the window can take.
Okay.
We don't ever want anybody to suffer through a hurricane. I mean, I think worst case scenario is waking up and having Jim Cantori from the Weather Channel broadcasting from your front yard. That's bad.
Yeah, that is bad.
But it's something that gives you the safety and security to know that you don't necessarily have to leave your home if you don't want to, and if you do, you know that the most vulnerable points are protected.
That was big. That was actually the thing that sealed the deal for me. Because I kept going back and forth. I'm like, should I be sensible? I could just get a basic dual pane window and it'll get the job done. I don't live on the coast. I live in Central Florida, and I kept going back and forth with my wife and trying to figure out what to do. And it was finally a friend of mine that said, well, why do you have life insurance? And I said, well, for security, just peace of mind to know that everything will be okay. And he said, well, wouldn't that be the same thing for you to get impact windows? I said, man, that's a good point. If we're on a cruise in Alaska and we're going to be gone for 2 weeks and we get 5 days into it and we hear there's a hurricane coming over at our house, I don't need to jump on a helicopter and go to the airport and fly home real quick so I can board up my house. I know that it's going to be okay. So that's really cool.
And I think that there is documented proof of what our product can do. I think there's a link on your website to the Mexico Beach Miracle House. It's been featured on several of the national news channels. It'll absolutely it's awe-inspiring to watch with Hurricane Michael a few years ago, with the damage that it did. And the way that the custom window systems product was able to genuinely save a beautiful home.
Yes, definitely. Every single home around that, which is a horrible thing, but they were all flattened, and only that home was left standing. And of course, it was designed for hurricanes, but I think, and there was a couple of windows that the glass needed to be replaced, so it did take impact during the hurricane. But everything was still functioning. It was still watertight and sealed from the elements. That's really cool. I'd love to talk about the Aria 610 and 650 windows.
The Aria series is our newest series. We brought it online about 4.5 years ago. It has greatly enhanced our product line in being able to give us an alternative with a tilt function, meaning that with the use of two sash clips, you're able to tilt the sash to the inside, clean the exterior, and lock it back into place. It also gave us a double hung option, which means that both sashes move. And on the double hung, the 650 series, there's a security night latch that you're able to use so that the window can be open to allow air in, but it can't be forced open any further than that.
I really like that feature.
It's really a nice product. especially in areas like ours in Central Florida where you don't need a high design pressure product, but you still want to have that safety and security.
Speaking of high design pressure, what is the design pressure for a non-impact window versus an impact window?
Well, usually it's about the design pressure of 35, and as a very general rule, you can take the design pressure, multiply it by 2.5, and that'll roughly give you the wind speed. Okay. So at a 35 dp, you're talking about a product that can go 90 to 100 mile an hour wind speed, non-impact. And generally what that means is that if it's impacted with something, that window will break. All right. The impact sister of the RA is our Storm Strong series. It still has the same features: tilts, double hung, single hung, beautiful horizontal roller, 74 inches by 72 inch horizontal roller. They're to enclose a 3-season room. We did that at my parents'. It's absolutely beautiful. But now you're talking about a 50 dp, so now you're up to 125 mile an hour, and really that's a pretty strong storm.
Man,
that if it comes,
that's wind pressure, though,
yes,
right? So we don't need to worry about the wind blowing the windows out. Another thing I noticed when I'm doing quotes is that custom window system, their software will not allow me to make a window that's so large that the design pressure would be compromised. And so if I get to the point where the window is so large that it actually causes that design pressure to lessen to a certain point, then basically custom window systems software says, nope, you can't have that window, which I think is really cool.
We will not sell or manufacture a product that does not meet the Florida Building Code. And I think, as most folks know, the Florida Building Code is one of the most stringent, really anywhere, starting all the way back to Hurricane Andrew and the tragedy that was.
Right. You can add in some stuff, but I really love this sample, Rich, and because it's so easy to set up. And I carried it into my sales appointment the other day, and I set it down in front of the customers.
Don't put it on a table.
I won't.
It'll scratch the
I'm
dog
sure
out of a
it'd
table.
be too tall anyway.
I replaced the table.
Uh-oh. So I kind of went in, and I just started talking to him, and I said, well, this is our double hung window here. This is the Aria 650, and as you can see, it's got the tilt sash top and bottom for easy cleaning, and I thought that, and then I just kind of went through the whole deal. You can get these white inside and bronze outside. Sometimes homeowners associations, they will only allow you to have a bronze window, but bronze doesn't really go with much on the inside of a house, so Custom Window Systems came up with a white bronze frame, which I think is really cool. So you can still meet the HOA requirements, and you can still have a nice white that'll match your trim inside.
That's it.
And some people really just love the bronze, so they want it bronze all the way through. You can do that. The bronze white tends to be a little less expensive than the bronze, and then of course the white is even less expensive than that. The whole while, all of the way that they make their vinyl and stuff, none of that is compromised by the color. In fact, I think, isn't this some sort of a paint on?
This is actually a fully extruded bronze, meaning that the PVC, and it is pure PVC. There's no regrind PVC in it. It is actually tinted to reflect the bronze coloring. And the bronze was started back with the aluminum windows in Florida years ago. So this is an actual PVC material. So there's no paint, nothing to scratch. It's not going to get, if a rock hits it, if the kid next door hits it with a baseball, it's not going to damage the color. Painted materials will scratch, and then it's very hard to touch those up, just for the simple fact that the sun hits this every day. And the paint and the vinyl are the two paints are actually going to weather differently. So you'll have a touch-up spot or a line and those kind of things. That's why we went with the fully extruded bronze product. The extrusion just works much, much better. A couple of things. Can we spin this back around?
Sure, for sure.
All right.
Yeah. can do that together.
All
Absolutely.
right. A couple things I wanted to show on the product is that standard with our product is the auto lock system, and we really like this because there's a lot of times that you may just forget to lock a window, and that kind of opens you up to some things. So all of the CWS products come with an auto lock. So when you close that window, that thing locks. The other thing to it is that we use a system of stainless steel product in here to avoid rust. If I can
Fingers are too big.
That's it. So all of the workings of the product won't rust and won't corrode. And the beautiful part about it is that all of the parts of this window, including the glass, have a lifetime warranty. The last part about it is the security latches that don't allow the window to open much beyond that 4 or 5 inch. I don't know a lot of folks that can squeeze their way into that.
No. And if somebody, I mean, locks are always meant to keep the honest people honest, right? But at the very least, you can sleep well knowing that if somebody is going to force their way in through those night latches, you're going to hear them. So I think that's really great. One thing I like about the double hung is that, especially for like a bathroom or something, you know, you get that steamy shower and you can just open the top there. You don't have to worry about anybody looking at you and let that steam out. It's kind of nice. And the 2 days, 2-3 days a year that we have really great weather in Florida, we could actually leave the windows open all night and let the house air out. So that's really cool.
Then the other thing about it is, and I don't know if you can see it, but you'll notice that our product has the Energy Star logo. That's very important. That means that we have met the standards of being able to give you the best energy efficient, energy savings product on the market. And that's important to note because there's not a lot of windows that can do that. You'll also see that the label will give you some of the energy numbers and the design pressure. This is important. Number one, you need to leave this on your window until all the inspections are done. Okay, don't call me and tell me I need another label, I took it off. But the other part of it is that this number is our order number. That will allow you as a homeowner to be able to call Custom Window Systems if anything ever happens. And not only you, but the person who buys your house next, because this is a transferable warranty on this product.
Yes, I love that too. And I tell that to people, especially people who are flipping a house or they know they're going to be selling in the future. And I just let them know that you can actually transfer this warranty to the next owner. And I think that's a great thing for a potential buyer of your home. And it's not very expensive either. It's $50 or $75, something like that.
To transfer, right?
Yeah, to transfer the warranty. Another thing about the warranty that I really liked was, I lost it.
That's all right.
So maybe it'll come back to me. Let's talk about the various, I call it light, medium, and dark tint because people want to call it tint. Are the windows tinted? Yes, they're tinted. But well, we've got the what?
The low E coating.
Right.
So what happens is that the second inside layer. So you have a piece of glass and a piece of glass. This is layer 1, this is layer 2. Layer 3 has a low E coating on. This one has our low E 366. You can tell by the greenish tint to it. That is how we are able to attain these energy numbers. Now, we can put one in here that gives you a higher energy rating, 340, but that'll give you a bluish tint. And honestly, it's a beautiful look. Mm-hmm. Or you can go to the old Florida low E 270. Now, that may not give you an Energy Star rating on some pieces of glass because we can't attain the federal government required test results. So yeah, you can have a couple different, and then of course we can tint windows with an actual tint. That'll give you a bronze tint, a gray tint, that sort of thing. But you will be sacrificing some energy efficiency to do that.
Yeah, I really love the low E 340. It is a nice look. Now, I didn't do it on my house because it's pretty dark, and sometimes if it's just a little cloud cover over the sun, you can look out that window and it looks a little gloomy outside, but then when you open the front door, you'll see that it's actually sunny outside. So I didn't really want that for my house. We did do it here in the office, and in fact, the storefront doors that we got, we actually sent the glass company to go to your glass factory, which is stationed right next door to your factory.
Cardinal is the largest glass manufacturer in the country. We are closer than any other window manufacturer to a Cardinal facility by like 400 miles. They're actually, we share a parking lot. They deliver to us about every 3 hours.
That's really cool. And so another thing that I wanted to touch on that you sort of touched on earlier was just, I'm not sure the right term for it, but I know that you guys are very efficient with your materials. In other words, very little is wasted. What is it? 99.8% of your raw materials that you bring in actually end up being a window.
It is. We are very, very efficient in the use of all of our materials, glass, and I think that's important these days because it's not a biodegradable material. It's something that can be reground and can be recycled. But from a cost-efficient standpoint, we try to make sure that we maximize our opportunity.
Let's flip this around one more time.
Okay.
As you can see, this is a double hung window, so it comes with a half screen that can slide up or down depending on which sash you want to open, and that comes standard with it. Single hung window would also come with a half screen, but it does not move. Now for me, I did double hung on my house, but I did the full screen, and anytime I do a quote for a customer that's going with a double hung window, I always recommend the full screen. I think it gives it a much more uniform look. Plus, if you're tilting in both sashes and cleaning those windows, and there's some bugs outside, you don't need to worry about them flying in while you're cleaning the windows. And it takes a little bit of the glare off from the outside when it's a sunny day. Really cuts down on that. Another thing that CWS has that I really like is they have different options for the screens. You can get these with a little finer mesh. In fact, you can get it with a really fine mesh that'll keep no-see-ums out. And that's a really nice feature.
I think anybody who knows what a no-see-um is knows how important it is to keep them out.
Yeah.
They bite.
Yeah, they hurt worse than a mosquito, but you can't see them. I want you to talk about the sliding glass doors a little bit. We'll bring one of these up here.
This is the next aspect of a home model is the sliding glass doors. Almost every house in Florida has at least one, and in most cases 2 to 3 sliding glass doors going out to a lanai. In a lot of cases, you'll see an L shape where there's a family room, master bedroom with sliding glass doors. This is an area that's critically important to the protection of your home because it's an access point for intruders, but it's also the point where most of the time, if there is going to be a failure during a storm, it's going to happen at this point. During Hurricane Irma, I live here in Central Florida, and during Hurricane Irma, I had aluminum non-impact sliding glass doors, and I watched as the eye of the storm passed almost directly over our house. I watched the door, the panel bow in, and I thought it was going to go. I really did. I don't have that anymore. This is our CWS 8800 series. This is basically the Swiss Army knife of sliding glass doors. It can do anything that you need it to do. Florida has a couple unique features of stacking sliding glass doors and pocket doors where the door disappears into a partial wall. This product is built to be able to do all of that. This product is designed to go 40 feet wide on the back of a home. So if you have a spectacular view, it's a great product. It looks fantastic. Available in all the colors. It's soon to be available in black. That it will allow your home to be much safer and secure. The product is reinforced heavily with aluminum. It does use a stainless steel roller system, and you can see the size of the rollers there. And the reason why that's important is because in a lot of cases that sliding glass door will sit closed for months. If it were vinyl, it would develop a flat spot, so that the first time when you go to open that door, it's going to go not a very comfortable feeling to it. The product comes with multiple handle options. It does have multiple lock options. You can see we actually use a multi-point locking system with the product with the flip. You can also see that we use high-grade anodized aluminum in the track to prevent corrosion, and
that's your screen door.
And the screen product is an aluminum product that does snap into the exterior groove here. and rides along the track deck.
Right, because the screen doesn't come standard on a sliding glass door. It actually, it's if you want one, then you can have one. But a lot of people have the screened in lanais these days, so that's why it's not a standard feature. I really love this screen door. I had some run-ins with some screen doors from other manufacturers, and they were just flimsy. They didn't work. The customer was very unhappy with them. But the custom window system screen door is very robust. It's thick. It's not flimsy at all. When you've got, you know, all four corners, it really works very nice. Another thing, he was talking about the locking mechanisms. We didn't really show you that, so let's get a good shot of those. But when I was a kid, I could actually break into my grandparents' house by just simply lifting up on the handle, and then I'd just open the door. It was that simple. So if they weren't home and I wanted to go in and get some pop out of the fridge, I just helped myself. You're not going to get in these sliding glass doors in that way. I don't care if you put a screwdriver underneath it, it ain't going to happen. Another thing that was really nice, when he talked about the hardware or the locking mechanisms, the handles, that there's different kinds available. I do have customers in the past that have like a boat dock in their backyard, and one of their complaints was they would all walk out in the backyard and then they decide to go on the boat. Well, he had to walk out the front door and then all the way to the back just so that his house was locked while he was gone. So I called Rich and I said, Rich, can we get a key for this thing? And it wasn't very expensive at all, like 20 bucks. I was able to get a key set, the lock set. I took it over. It attaches to the existing hardware that he already has. He'll have a locksmith come. They got to do a little punch out right there, and then he's got a key. He can lock his sliding door when he decides to jump on the boat. Pretty cool stuff.
Exceptionally well. It has become abundantly clear that folks, while they're at home and working from home, they've decided, you know, I really need to do some things around here. And Windows has been a really strong contributor to that, because just it absolutely affects almost every aspect of your home ownership. Just street appeal, curb appeal to environment, and it's something that we've done very well. We're actually cranking at record production at this point. We run 2 full shifts. We have almost 800 employees and just under 500,000 square feet in Ocala, Florida. We're coming up on probably November, December. We'll make our 2 millionth window. Been around since 1987. We're a wholly owned subsidiary of Pellet Corporation. We're very, very, very happy and very pleased to be working with partners like Brandon and Shannon. We're very fortunate.
Yeah, cool. Another thing I'll comment on that, during the shutdown, I think maybe 2 of my orders were a week later than they normally would have been, and then they immediately bounced back. So yeah, they did experience a little bit of backlash from that. But I want to say, and compared to what I'm hearing feedback from customers and potential customers, we have really strong lead times. I mean, our lead times are short. I usually tell folks that from the time that you give your deposit for windows to the time we're putting them in is approximately 4 weeks, which is really strong. I'm hearing 12, 15, 16, 20 weeks in some cases from other companies. But not here. They actually ship these windows to me almost exactly 3 weeks. I received them after I placed the order. But of course, you know, I got to receive a check, let it clear, place the order, you know, get the measurements, and then once the windows come in, verify that they're all correct, and then get out and get the install done. So I give myself a week to do that.